unexpected side effects from NaNoWriMo. I am Persephone Jane, and this was my first year doing NaNoWriMo. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about some unexpected things that I discovered during NaNoWriMo. Sorry, I have my notes down here, so I'm gonna keep looking down here to keep myself on track, otherwise I tend to babble. So this year, since it was my first year, I decided to go whole hog, straight up the way it's meant to be done. So I started a brand new project. I had a 50,000 word count goal for the month, and I did 0 editing, mostly. I did, like, when I would sit down to write each day, I would reread the 2 paragraphs or so before I ended, so that I could just kind of get myself back into the mindset. And so as I was reading those, if I found, obvious mistakes, words misspelled, things like that, I would fix them as I was going. So some small accidental editing, if I'm completely honest, but at no point did I sit down specifically to edit any passages. The reason that I chose to do it that way is because I wanted to get the full experience of what it's supposed to be and what it was originally designed to be before I went all breaking rules and doing whatever the heck I wanted, which may happen in the future, although NaNoWriMo has completely changed my writing approach, which we're going to talk about. It comes from the 4 unexpected side effects. So at the beginning, no, that's not true. In October, I started my prep for NaNoWriMo. I outlined my story as best I could. It was a general loose outline, like, things happening, just to kind of break up my chapters and make sure that I had a goal for each time I sat down to write. So I made that in October. I also downloaded a calendar in October that gave me my word count for each day. So I downloaded a calendar that was top heavy. So at the beginning of the month, I wrote, gosh, on the first day it was like almost 5,000 words. Yes, it was tricky. Yes, it was hard. No, that's not even true. The beginning, it was actually really easy, because 5,000 words just sounds like a lot, but thinking back, it wasn't, because when I first sat down to write, I was writing kind of hodgepodge. I was writing just the scenes that I already knew really well in my head that I was really excited to write. And so I sat down and I wrote those. And so the words just came really fast at the beginning, which was really nice, because towards the end of the month, when I knew that the holidays were coming and I have 3 kids and I might not have time to write every day, I found time to write every day, just because I was also committed to getting that stupid badge that says I updated my word count every day. So that helped motivate me as well. And it seems silly, but for me, it was just something to work towards. And but it allowed me at the beginning to get those really big word counts out of the way with scenes that I was really excited to write. And I jumped around and I wrote whatever I was inspired to write that day. And then once I got through all of that stuff that I was really inspired for, I was like, okay, now I need to get back to writing the rest of the story. And so that's where my smaller word counts towards the end of the month came in. With my calendar, I ended up hitting 50,000 words right about Thanksgiving. So I had an entire week to finish out my story. At 50,000 words, my story was not complete. It's complete at about 55,000 and some change now. Will it stay that much? Probably not. But knowing that I had that cushion towards the end of the month really let off the pressure. So that's just a little side tip. All right. So back to the rhythm. The rhythm of writing every day without edits is what changed my life, literally. So the 4 things that are side effects of that are interrelated for me. They all kind of feed one another and they support one another, but for the sake of simplicity, I wanted to just pull them out one at a time and kind of chat about them. So here we go. Number 1. Tell the frickin' story. I get so stuck on passages that it prevents me from finishing the story. That's what I learned about myself and my own writing style, or my own writing brain, And NaNoWriMo allowed me to get out of that mindset and just tell the story, which sounds simple, but as any writer knows, when you sit down, it's not simple. So NaNoWriMo helped me to tell the freaking story. That's number one. Number two, the speed with which you need to write to get an entire novel done in 1 month without editing created an environment for me where I could detach myself from the things that were meaningful to me, which is helpful because that attachment is what makes me get stuck on a certain scene or a certain word. Like, did she say that line with gusto? Did she say it with oomph? Did she say it while flipping her hair to the side? Did she say it while crossing her arms? I don't have to focus on that detail. I write whatever comes to me to begin with. Maybe I make a placeholder note that I might want to strengthen that line, but I don't sit there and worry about strengthening it right then. So I'm detached from it. I don't feel like every single thing has to be perfect the first time, which apparently is how I write. And I kind of knew that, but this really brought it home. That detachment from the characters, from the scene, from the words, allowed me to just tell the freaking story, right? So that level of detachment is the second lesson. Third, I am actually really excited to edit. I am not usually excited to edit. The reason I'm excited to edit is because as I was writing, I would finish my writing for the day and I would kind of go about my business and make dinner and whatnot, and I'm thinking about the story in my head, I'm thinking about what I just wrote, I'm thinking about what I might work on tomorrow. I know during that time that there's stuff I want to change. I know that there are scenes that are not as strong as they should be, not as strong as they could be, they're not as magical as I want them to be. I know this because I just wrote it, and then I thought about it all day until I wrote tomorrow, or until I sat down again that evening to write. The ability to know something sucks and to not touch it is strangely freeing. I'm excited to get into editing. I'm excited to take those scenes and focus on them and make them better, and then move on to the next scene that needs to be made better. I don't feel like I have to edit the whole book because I know to start with the scenes that are the weakest and then go from there. So I'm excited to edit. That's something that I've never experienced before, and it's one of the side effects of NaNoWriMo. So that's number 3. I'm excited to edit. Number 4 is sort of encapsulating all of these things in one. I have read many times that the first draft of a book is as bad as it's ever going to be, right? That should be helpful to any writer. All it can do is get better from there. And yet, my first drafts are largely untouched because I agonized over things for so long. And even though as I'm reading the whole thing, I know it doesn't fit, I know it doesn't work, I agonized over it for so long that I don't want to touch it. So now I have all these first drafts that are the worst they're ever going to be that I can't change because I'm so connected to it and I'm so committed to it. It's like cutting out a part of my soul. But with NaNoWriMo and all of the unexpected side effects that I experienced during November, I can honestly look at my first draft and say, yes, this is as awful as this book will ever be, and now I'm gonna fix it. And that's exciting. I can really take that saying to heart and understand its purpose and its truth, so to speak, and utilize that to move forward with my editing and move forward with other stories. Because now I know how to write a first draft, if that makes sense. Those side effects have compiled for me what I need psychologically, maybe. Did you see this motion? It just comes out, but it's true. Psychologically, those things came together for me to create an environment where I can truly write a first draft that is editable by me, that is filled with spots that need to be edited, and that's the whole point, is to edit and rewrite and add and change until it's better, until it's the best it can be. But you have to start somewhere with the first draft that is as awful as it's ever going to be. So, small recap. Yes, let's. Number 1, tell the freaking story. Number 2, be detached. That's okay. It's actually helpful. Number 3, excited to edit with the side effects of NaNoWriMo. I am excited to edit. Number 4, take to heart the fact that your first draft is as bad as that book is ever going to be, and all it can do is get better now. And that's the next step. Maybe we'll talk about that later. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video and the other videos from our other amazing authors in this group, and drop a comment below and let us know what you think, and subscribe to the channel and you'll get notifications when we post new stuff. Bye, guys.